Hello and welcome to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson and today I've got a DM tip for you. When I'm dungeon mastering, I like to add some mannerisms and gestures to my NPCs I roleplay to help distinguish them from other NPCs and kind of just a simple shorthand where players can instantly tell who they're talking to. This is especially important when they're in a room full of multiple NPCs, which is generally a scenario you want to avoid as a DM because it can get a bit messy and confusing sometimes. Typically you want, the players to be talking to one NPC who then gets them to be the in-between people to go somewhere else to talk to another NPC if they're doing some kind of in-between NPC kind of conflict or what have you. So when it came to the DM challenge, I chose to go hard mode and I had the players in a room with multiple different NPCs with different things going on. And so I needed to quickly and easily, because also I was on a time constraint to compound the issue. I couldn't go into too much detail describing the character that was just eating away at my time. I had to heavily rely on and lean into that mannerisms and gestures to help signify which character I am portraying. And I'm not talking about character voices. I mean, you can, especially if you're good at doing them. Fantastic. It can be, even I don't do sometimes my voice will naturally might go that way while I'm role-playing, but generally speaking, it might be a slight inflection to the voice, but otherwise it's mostly gestures and mannerisms, really, and kind of the mood I portray. I'll push that. But anyway, the gestures and mannerisms. So, some examples will run through here. See when I played the Darkling Butler at the start of my DM challenge video. Very simple. Described as a Darkling Butler. I didn't go into too much other detail about him. I leaned heavily into tropes and stereotypes, which people assume butler, probably elderly gentleman fellow. Easy enough to make that assumption, and I just leaned into that, so I kind of leaned forward a bit, squinted the eyes, and suddenly I'm the Darkling Butler. It was just a very simple one for him. Just kind of lean forward a bit and kind of squint the eyes, and that's how. Very simple. Darkling Butler. So that's how I conveyed I was role playing him. Another one was the Jinn that shows up. The very much like, I can do no wrong. How do you? I'm constantly offended. So this is simple like, oh my god, what? Very kind of melodramatic, kind of boisterous, but just with the hands, really, just what? How dare you? That hand up there, and that was the Jinn. It's just that simple. It's kind of the simple kind of lean into one thing about them, kind of portray that with a simple mannerism or gesture. When it came to the orb, that was quite simple. They're a big old orb, and so simple. It's a big floating orb. Every time I roleplayed the orb, I had my arms like this, kind of floating, and eventually you get the idea. You sense that you're talking to a giant floating orb. So very simple. Simple tricks you can do to instantly just kind of boom, 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 convey this is this NPC, and players kind of pick up on those cues. So a little tip and trick for you. And a technique that I had one instance in a game. It wasn't the DM challenge, and one of my games I run, and where I was so pleased that players actually picked up on it. I was very impressed. A very subtle one I did was there was a character who they picked up just through my roleplay cues, roleplaying with them, that they were blind. What I did was throughout the entire conversation, I never made eye contact with the player who was talking to the character. I always looked past them when talking to all the different players at the table. Never made eye contact, and they eventually, pretty quickly actually, they picked up. Like, hold on, is this guy blind? And they picked up on that cue, and I was very impressed. There's little simple things you can do, and then get the sense of, oh wow, they picked up on the little details that you can just kind of sprinkle into the game. It doesn't take too much. Like normally I don't really plan the gestures. They just kind of like I just kind of quickly pick the element the main element about this character, and quickly try and on the fly, and just, I don't know, it comes sometimes. But that comes with practice, of course, as well. To try out different gestures and mannerisms, and eventually you get a character like and just kind of fall into the trope, stereotype, like someone who's a bit haggard. Oh, hello, yes, hold on 1 second, you know, and they know, okay, it's the character who's always a bit haggard and all over the show. Things like that. There's all simple, quick things you can do to just suddenly boom, boom, boom. You know who these characters are. Okay, cool. Without having to do a full introduction each time or what have you. So yeah, that is my DM tip today. Mannerisms and gestures for NPCs. All right, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Catch more of these tips and other videos I do. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, like button, and yeah, catch you next video. See ya.